Gonna wait for some of you guys to show up here. Now it's a Sunday, almost afternoon. Sunday morning, but almost afternoon. Trying to think. I wanted to speak to you guys today about something that I guess sounds a little bit complex, but it's not that complex. And it has to do with what I spoke about last week. If you guys remember, I called it the banality of evil. If you guys don't remember, go check out my YouTube channel or scroll down on this page and you'll see the video. I actually recommend starting the video at about the 8th minute, because the first 7 or 8 minutes were kind of like the setup, but I mean, if you want to watch the whole thing, feel free to do so. But you know, it's interesting. Right before COVID started, and even as COVID got kind of rolling, we were really, by we I mean the people who are kind of like in the consciousness, so to speak. A lot of us were really concerned, and we're still concerned, you know, kind of about the global rise in anti-Semitism and also the just like this globalizing anti-Semitism, and a lot of people are shocked. A lot of people are kind of like, what's going on? And we seem to think that there's some people that even say, well, you know, God forbid there might be like another Hitler that comes along and, you know, tries to do what he does. And you know, we speak about, again, like, ever since basically, you know, the Holocaust became kind of a thing in the public consciousness, and I mean this I don't mean this in a diminishing way. I mean this like it basically became a thing that's, you know, we started educating people about it, and, you know, having memorial, what is it called, museums and all these kind of things, and history and documentaries, and, you know, Lord knows it's been documented to high heaven, and even after the documentation, there's still people who deny. And, you know, we created this kind of slogan. The slogan says, never again. Never again. You know, and then we go further to say that never again will we go to the slaughter, like sheep to the slaughter, right? And some people say, okay, we're not going to go never again to sheep to the slaughter. Meaning, you know, if we see somebody like that who comes along and kind of threatens to do this, we're going to stop him. Or there are those who say, you know, we have the state of Israel, we have Israel, so now that we have Israel, we have an army, Baruch Hashem, so you see these guys, we're not going to go to the slaughter. The name is The Nation of Israel, YouTube channel. You know, and we kind of got it into our heads that really, it's one of those things where we're not going to let this happen. Why? It's never going to happen again. Why is it never going to happen again? Because we're going to see it coming. You know, whether it's from the left wing or from the right wing, we're going to see it coming. And because we're going to see it coming, therefore never again. Guys, I just want to tell you that, you know, the whole point of never again is that this is something that we're not going to see coming. This is something to where some of us, I will say less than 50% of us, see the signs, and most of us don't. And the crazy part is, guys, I hate to say this, this is going to be connected less to Jew hatred, or Jew hatred is going to be maybe a part of the bigger umbrella that is just going to be, not just, but that is going to be totalitarianism. And again, if you guys read what I posted on my personal wall, or for those of you guys who are watching who know me personally, or who listen to that YouTube last week, or you can listen to it here on the Facebook page, you understand that there are things that happen in society that leave space or allow for totalitarianism to take hold. This is what we mean by never again. When we say never again, we're talking about never again are we going to have a situation where people in society basically sell out their neighbors for whatever reason. They sell out their neighbors for some sort of perceived greater good, whether it's the Jew is the bad guy, the Jew is the disease. At that time, it was the Jew. 80 years ago, the Jew was the disease, right? Was dehumanized. Or now we have COVID, but by extension, who is the disease? The people who refuse to take this supposed, cure that is being pushed by, let's say, pharma companies and governments, when we know there's actually treatments for this thing, because we want to get back to our, so to speak, normal lives, our regular lives, which weren't really so normal, guys. I always say, if you think that what we had was normal before this, you want to get back to that, you're basically insane. And you're insane, and the people that you're following are basically sociopaths. Because they're canceling, they are gaslighting, they are censoring, they are bullying. Anybody who comes along and so much as questions and asks the questions, please tell me about this, please tell me about that. I want to know the dangers. And they address them kind of, but then if you prod a little further, if you prod a little deeper, don't ask too many questions. Just take it. Come on. Guys, this is behavior of sociopaths. So basically, this is what happens. It happened 80 years ago to where sociopaths took hold. And now we have the same thing. It's just not one guy. It's a few people. Some of them are bureaucrats. Some of them are, like corporate hacks. Some of them are government people. Some of them are media people. It's this kind of, I don't want to use the word cabal, but it's a group of people who work in concert with each other. They have an agenda. All right? Some of them are threatened. Some of them are blackmailed. And they're here to basically, they're here to control. They're not here to help. If they were here to help, they would offer other solutions that, first of all, are way cheaper than what they're offering. They would ask certain companies that charge, let's say thousands of dollars for a proven, treatment, to say, listen, guys, can you just lower the price because we have a situation, we have a global. If we're calling this a global emergency, it's urgent, it's an emergency, and we're running around with like chickens with our head cut off because some according to some people that I've spoken to, that they sound like chickens with a head cut off, then come on, let's make this cheaper. Let's speak to if we can speak to the companies to produce something new, then we can speak to the companies to that are already making stuff to just make it cheaper. Really, they're making a hand over fist as it is, right? But it just goes to show that they don't really care about people. They care about control. They care about their own pockets, and that's basically it, guys. That's basically it. And so now we have a situation where regular citizens, the same people who are talking about never again, never again, never again, the same people, I'm telling you guys, because from just personal run-ins with these people and just reading some of their comments on, on Facebook and comment sections and Twitter and other places, it's literally, they are at the point where they will dehumanize their neighbor, the person that doesn't want to, exercises their rights and says, listen, I'm not going to take this stuff because I have questions, right? They dehumanize them, they objectify them, and they say these guys are weirdos and they're going against whatever, the public good. And I'll tell you guys, these guys will happily see you off. It won't be on a train. It might be on a plane. It might be on a bus. Something a little, more glorified, as it were, a little nicer. Maybe a plane, maybe a bus, maybe some kind of a, whatever it is, And if it is a train, it'll be a high speed, one of these nice high speed rails, You go somewhere, Listen again, guys. I had a person who I thought I knew said, "What if we just put these people in internment camps like we did in, they did this in the Japanese Americans, and then they let them out after 2 years." Guys, This is like the best case scenario. That's what I've heard. I've heard this, really. I read this a few days ago, right before Shabbos, Thursday. You know, we're in the year 2021. We're not in 1921, we're not 1931, not 1941. We're in the year 2021, and this is how people are talking. There's a celebrity who comes out and says, "Screw your freedoms." You know, he gives it a caveat. With freedom comes responsibility. Thank you very much. You know, Dr. whatever, X-Men. Forget his name. I'm not such an expert on X-Men. Thank you very much. Screw your freedom. All right? And my friends, you should see the comments on the responses from people on the people of Twitter. It's incredible. I was reading this. I was just, my mouth, my jaw dropped. I didn't even know what to say. I didn't even respond. Frankly, my jaw dropped. And yeah, guys, listen. So what people don't really understand is when they talk about never again, and all this kind of stuff, and their little platitudes and their little slogans and their cute little, every year, here in Israel, we stand up for Yom HaZikaron, Yom HaShoah, never again, never again, never again, never again, never again, never again. Meanwhile, my friends, the Israeli government is pumping. I was saying the other day, here we are, we just got upset at Poland, right, for not having Holocaust education, or not having some kind of thing that commemorates the Holocaust, whatever it is. My friends, we have leaders who are basically foregoing the health of the nation because of their hubris and their bravado and their just downright blindness. These are people, supposed leaders, one after the other. Whether it was the first guy or now the second guy, the 2.0 version, they have basically set up a modern day version of what's called Avodah Zarah, idol worship, okay? And here, again, we're talking about never again, never again, never again, never again, never again, never again. Meanwhile, my friends, 50% of supposedly civilized Western society is literally willing for the quote-unquote greater good after a whole series of censorships and, canceling and bullying and gaslighting and hiding and covering up. After all that stuff, they are willing to send their neighbor away to a glorified resort. Let's put it that way. For an undetermined period of time. Just for the greater good. They're willing to do that, My friends, I'll say like this, and I've been saying this for a while in every video. This is going to, if it does happen, Has v'shalom, it should, but if it does happen, it's going to be Batal B'Shishim, 1/60th of what was experienced in all these different times, whether it was what happened 80 years ago or what happened with the Japanese internment camps. I just spoke to my friend, the brother of a certain doctor who got basically blacklisted and canned, and he told me I don't think it's going to happen because I think right before that happens, right when we're on the brink, people are going to start waking up. They're already waking up. Guys, I'm here in Israel. Actually, it's a statistic. I think 60% of the country is fully vaxxed, meaning 5 million people have taken one dose, and they're probably not going to take a second one because they understand what's going on. They took a first one, they had some kind of issues, whatever it is. They heard there were issues that are covered up, and they're not going to be taking a second one. This guy's running around talking about a third one. My friends, before you get to the third one, take the second. If you can't convince 40% of the country to take the second one, you have a big problem. Okay? You can't convince 40% of the country to bow down to Malach or to Baal Peor, you have a big problem. Okay? So yeah, my friends, we shouldn't get it into our heads that this thing is all about this whole never again stuff and this whole kind of totalitarianism, or this whole thing about never again is about the Jews. It's not about the Jews per se. It's about totalitarianism and whipping people up into a frenzy. Again, whether it's one person, whether it's a group of politicians mixed with celebrities, mixed with influencers, mixed with media, mixed with pharmaceutical companies, they could be collectively basically a kind of have people in a trance. People are in a trance. You talk to them. You bring them facts. You bring them abstract ideas. Abstract, right? You ask them to think. You ask them to think for themselves. You ask the question, why would they do this if we can do this? Why would they force us to do this? Why, if something is good, why do they need to bully people into taking it? Again, come on. Just do it. Come on. Guys, there's something, again, I said this last time, I'm going to say it again. There's something that smells like rotten herring here. I can smell it from a mile away. My intuition, my spidey senses are going off. My intuition is telling me something smells like rotten herring. Hot garbage, okay? That's just me. Listen, call me crazy, whatever it is. Yeah, guys, so for the people that are talking about never again and this and that and the other, and we have the army and we have this and we have that, and we learned our lesson. My friends, honestly, I'm looking around. I'm looking on social media, primarily. So far, it's just on social media. And I realized that we did not learn our lesson one bit. We did not. 50% of humanity did not learn the lesson. The lesson is, it's not just about Jew hatred. It's about somebody can come along, or a group of people, one guy, group of people, whip people up into a frenzy over something that is, in this case, 99.9 survivable thing. And if you guys say, well, afterwards you have certain people with this and that and the other, these things are treatable. Even afterwards, they're treatable with alternative medicine, with other things. But my friends, 99.9, survivability rate, they turned this into the Black Plague, as if billions of people are supposed to, Has v'Shalom, die from this. They're not, and they're not going to, and that's not the point. Again, if you listen to Rabbi Kessin, the point is fear of death, pachad mavis. The point is not wiping out half of humanity. Maybe their goal is to wipe out half of humanity, the people that are involved in this. Again, I don't want to get into, down rabbit holes. I can, really, if you guys want me to, I really can bring you actual facts, and then you could connect the dots together, put the pieces of the puzzle together. I'm not going to do that here, and I may not even do that on any of my social media platforms for fear of being banned. But this thing is not meant to kill billions of people. It just isn't. We understand that, okay? Any epidemiologist will tell you that even if we didn't have a vaccine, this thing would have probably been over. Okay? So, my friends, when you say never again, try to internalize and understand what it is that you're actually talking about, and try to understand what's called the totality and the trajectory and the context of historical processes of history. And you have to understand how these things, how these never agains, how these agains come to be. They come to be when people stop using their faculties to think critically, and they just follow like sheep. They are entranced. They are mesmerized. They are whipped up into a frenzy of fear, and they're running around like a chicken with a head cut off. And when the chicken with a head cut off, it can't think. It doesn't have a brain. It's just, you tell it, just take this and everything will be okay. My friends, we're already on the 3rd round. We're going to be on the 4th round, the 5th round. Not only that, we're going to be on a lockdown, which we've proven don't work. So, what's going on? My friends, what's going on? And now we see that there's 50% of society, maybe more, that's willing to put their neighbor and even family members on some form of transportation, maybe even very nice, comfortable, glorified transportation, to some, location, to stay there for an undisclosed period, undetermined period of time. My friends, this is the year 2021. Not 1921, not 1931, not 1941. We keep saying never again, never again. Question is, do we understand what we're saying? Do we understand? So, just some food for thought, my friends. Just some food for thought. And anyway, I'm gonna meet some like-minded folks in a little bit. What time's it now? In 5 minutes, B'ezrat Hashem. And yeah, listen guys, when we say never again, we have to understand how again happened. And then we can understand how to prevent it. B'ezrat Hashem. As Dr. Zelenko's brother said to me the other day, last week, I think people are waking up, and I think come Elul, by the time we're done with these Hagim, I think people are going to wake up, and B'ezrat Hashem, we're going to have at least a great awakening. B'ezrat Hashem. Alright, talk to you guys soon.